Jaden Springer is I would say my guy in this draft. The player that I have the largest disagreement, both from like broad consensus and also like draft coverage consensus. You'll see him mocked anywhere from like I would say 7 to 25, and I would be very comfortable taking him in the top 5. He's one of the youngest players in this draft, and I believe he's the youngest American player who will end up being selected. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, only like 2.5 per 36, but he shot 44% on them. And he is a defensive bulldog who like just strongs his way to the rim, despite being only about like 6'4". I would view him as more of like a small wing than a out and out guard, because he can defend multiple positions using the strength and center of gravity to dislodge bigger ball handlers. Gets to the rim, gets fouled, 44% free throw attempt rate, which is pretty good for the system that he played in. He's a 2-foot finisher, which makes it a little more difficult to be a primary. But on a team where you have Pascal, OG, Fred, there's always going to be a team, a defense in rotation responding to an attempt to drive. So I think that this would be if they do fall, this would be like the person I would be most excited about them picking. Not just because of their famed development program, but also like it makes a lot of sense to their roster and the things they've historically shown to be good at. I was talking to a person and described him as guard-sized OG Anunoby in terms of how he plays basketball. And to have guard-sized OG Anunoby and regular-sized OG Anunoby. Not the same level of scarves I've seen, but that, all rookies can develop.
But what about scarves?
Maybe he adds to the scarf game as he gets older. But I think that would be a really, really good fit.
DeLon Wright, he told a story about how DeMar and Kyle took him shopping. Well, DeLon Wright and Norm Powell. This is Norm Powell's story. He went with DeLon. But about how they took them shopping and said, get whatever you want. And that was completely alien to Norm. So maybe Jaden Springer, somebody on the team will take him, maybe even OG for scarf shopping, something to look forward to. But I think it was Mike Prada in his newsletter talked about how Jimmy Butler gets himself into positions to utilize his lower body strength and how that's one of the major discrete skills. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, the major discrete skill that drives a lot of what he does in the middle of the floor. Does Jaden Springer have anything going on, maybe not akin to Jimmy Butler, but what are the discrete skills that kind of drive his game?
Yeah, I mean, he has a similar low center of gravity, and they're both like built like NFL running backs, where just like it's all thighs and calves, and so he's really capable of getting under ball handlers defensively. Famously, he played Jalen Suggs extremely well in a youth game, and he's the only person that I saw that really, really gave Cade trouble, despite being almost a year younger than both of them in terms of age. So like he's always been able to dislodge ball handlers defensively, and on offense, while his handle is a bit funky, he does sort of have that same like 2-footed stiltedness, that like the timing that Jimmy Butler has developed. And I think that as he gets more flexible and as teams respond to the shooting, there's going to be the same sort of like pro hops and like weird floaters that, Eastern Conference fans have grown to hate so much. Jimmy Butler throwing up this like weird looking crap, and then it just goes into time and time and time and time again.